Hi there, it's DHEVAN from Retirement Wellness SA. And today I'm looking at something particularly interesting. And that is a question that's been posed to me by one of the members in the community. And it is, how much should I pay my financial advisor? Now, maybe you're at that stage in your life where you're about to retire, or if you are a government employee, you're in a position now where you want to decide which route is best for you. Should you retire or resign from GEPF? Now, whichever route or whichever point you find yourself in, ultimately you're in a position where you know that you're going to be stopping work. And then you want to start to have a look at what happens with your finance. Now, naturally, a lot of you, or you might be in a position where you haven't been working with finance. You're not a financial advisor, you haven't studied that, or you're not familiar with investing and the markets. You're familiar with what you have been working with, and therefore you now sort of depend on the advice or the information that's been provided to you from the consultant that you're liaising with. At the same time, we all are looking for value. We don't want to pay more for something than what we should be paying. But when it comes to financial advice, we certainly don't have a tangible product to work with. I'll use an example. Let's hop over onto the iPad. I'm going to illustrate this thing better. So let's assume that, now you have to bear with me with my drawing, I'm not the best. Let's assume that you were in the market for a washing machine, right? You were in the market for a washing machine, and you were able to purchase this, let's just say, from Macro. And Macro had this for 5,000 rands. And the identical brand. So the identical brand, we'll say, was available. Let's use Hirsch in this example. And Hirsch had this for 4,500 rand. Now, which route would you go? Remember, it's the same machine. It's the identical brand, right? It's just this that's changing. Now, Hirsch might normally sell this for 5,000. It just so happens that they're having a promotion, and it could work the other way around. So it could be where Macro decides that they're having a promotion. So Hirsch has it as their normal retail, 5,000, and then Macro has a promotion for 4,500. But can you see that there's a difference in pricing? And which route are you most likely to take? Naturally, like me, you'd want to go with this option. And the reason for that is, it's the identical product. See, there's nothing different between the two. It's the same product itself. But when it comes to financial advice, we now are buying something, or we're investing. You're investing in something that is not tangible, meaning you can't see the markets. You can't see, advice. It's not something that you can touch or feel or taste. See, it's not a tangible product. So there are other factors you now want to consider when you're working with this, which means how experienced is the person, who's giving me the advice. So how experienced is the financial advisor? Now, you might have somebody who's worked for 20 or 30 years, but that's a lot of experience, but is that the only factor? Because aside from experience, can they actually take the 20, 30 years experience and deliver something for you that is personalized? You see? Then you want to focus on their qualifications. So have they studied? What sort of level or grade are they at? You also want to look at the testimonials. Have they had other people that they've assisted? If you're a government employee, maybe you want to see government employees that they've worked with. Or if you're retiring from a private company, you want to look at people that they've helped in the private sector. How good have they been working with it? And why I'm sharing all of this with you is, when it comes to determining your price, that's something that could easily be influenced. And I'm going to illustrate this in this example. Let's just say you went to, I'm going to say here, financial advisor A. And on this side, we'll say financial advisor B. So financial advisor B. Now, let's just assume your main focus behind this exercise is cost. So you're sort of looking at this in the same line as you were looking at it for the washing machine. We just want to see between financial advisor A and financial advisor B, which one costs me less. Now, if your focus is on that, see, if your focus is exclusively on cost, you might be missing out on all the other elements. See, chances are the financial advisor then, because they know that your concentration is on cost, it might become a price battle, meaning financial advisor A reduces their price, and then you go to financial advisor B, who reduces their price. Then you go back to financial advisor A, reduces, financial advisor B, reduces, until ultimately you're making a decision between one of the two. You know, one of these advisors might say, that's it, it's my lowest low, I won't go anything below that. And then you're making a choice as to which advisor you're going to be using. But your focus now was only on cost. See, you were just concentrating on how much am I getting from this. Now, what are we missing? What are we leaving on the table? When it comes to the washing machine example here, what you are buying is not so much the washing machine itself, but you're buying time, you're buying convenience, because now you have a machine that is able to do your clothes for you, it's able to do your laundry without you physically having to be there. So it's just putting it on. And in some cases, you might even get someone else to put it on. So you're buying convenience. When it comes to financial advice, I want you to think carefully about this. You've worked now for 20, 30, 40 years, however long. And now you want this money to last you for X number of years. So let's use this as an example. Assume you started work when you were 20 and now you are 60. So that's your timeline. You've now worked for 40 years. And then you want to set this up in place. So you want to do your planning at age 60. How long do you want that plan to last? Chances are as long as you live. So if you have to live to 100 or beyond, you now want to make sure that the foundation of your planning is so strong, it's so rock solid that this lasts you for as long as you live. See? Now think of this again as the foundation of building a home. If that foundation in the beginning is not done well, then what's the chances of the home standing tall and upright, or not cracking, or having challenges or issues? See? The same here. If your foundation is not done well in the beginning, the chances of you being successful later on decreases significantly. And here's why. Aside from costs, the other elements that you want to start factoring when you're getting this done is tax. So you want to make sure that tax planning gets done. You want to make sure that you look at the costs, but not only the costs from a financial advisor. You have to bear in mind, chances are you are investing money, which means we want to look at the costs of the insurance company, the cost of the funds where this money is actually being invested. So we want to look at that in detail. Then you want to have a look at your income. So how much income do you need monthly? And is that income sufficient for you to live comfortably now? Also, will that income be increased in the future? You see, you also want to pay attention to any lump sum. So how much cash are you going to withdraw, as a lump sum, and that you could use for travel or settling off debt? Again, it's another factor that you want to consider. So you want to add to the mix. Then perhaps you have family. So if you have a spouse and you want to make sure that your spouse is well cared for when you're not around, then you want to do some legacy planning. Is that important to you? Is it important for you that your kids, even though they might be in a strong financial position now, is it important for you that you want to leave something else for them, more for them when you're not around? What about your grandkids? Would you like to leave something for them when you're not around? See? So that's what legacy is about. Then we also want to do some estate planning. And that is, at some point when you're not around, how do you want your assets to be split? Are you okay if government takes a big chunk of that in estate duty and taxes? If not, what are your plans to go and work around it? So when you're working with this with a financial advisor, remember the focus should not be exclusively on cost. And if you do that, what's the chances of somebody spending a lot of time with you doing this? Which is actually the elements you need in order to be successful. See, there was one more element actually, which I must add in. You want to do an investment strategy. So naturally, you're going to be investing money. You want to make sure that there's some kind of investment strategy. Now, this is just some of the items that I've put together. There's so much more to this. Again, when you are engaging with your financial advisor, if these elements are done, the question I want to ask you is, what's the chances of your success? If you're focusing on all of these elements as opposed to just one. If we turn the tables around, if you focus on one area alone, which is how can I get the cheapest financial advice, what's the chances of your success? So working with this, I hope you can see clearly the benefits. Now here's the key. So if you stay to the end, I want to give you a secret here. And that is, when financial advice is done well, when it's done properly, then the financial advisor pays for itself. Let me illustrate what I mean. I'll use myself as an example. When I engage with clients, helping them on their planning, and let's say I'm engaging with you doing your planning, whatever the fee, my fee is, I'd rather you view that fee not so much as a fee, but as an investment in yourself. It's an investment to protect your legacy. What do I mean? So if I put you in a position where I can reduce your taxes, if I put you in a position where I'm able to show you how to save on costs, if I'm able to help you get the appropriate income, which again influences your taxes, if I show you how to save tax on your lump sum and still get an appropriate lump sum, if I show you how to build a legacy so that this capital, this wealth that you've created still passes on generation to generation, if I show you how to keep your estate costs to a bare minimum or zero, if I'm able to show you how to invest in such a way that you're able to grow your capital despite you receiving an income, what is all of that worth to you? And I'll take it a step further. If I'm able to do all of this, how much of money am I saving you? How much of peace of mind am I providing you? Now, just on one element alone, if done well, it covers whatever these costs are. I've seen this time and time again with all the clients that I've engaged with. It's this. If the tax planning is done well, extensively, thoroughly, it's the saving that you generate from that is more than enough to cover this cost plus grow your wealth. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please click the like sign. I'd also love for you to subscribe because there's so much more value that I can add to you. And that allows you to get these videos as soon as they become available. If you know of someone that might benefit from this, please make sure that you share the video with him. And I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you.